Welcome to Business is the Chat. I'm your host, Malash. So, uh, this segment is the last segment for the year, and I wanted to close with a bang with a nice panel, and I am looking forward to having the conversation. Yaka Jeku. So, we're going to be talking about um, being a Black entrepreneur in South Africa. Ne? So I wanted us to really have a nice conversation about being a Black entrepreneur in South Africa, what it is to be a Black entrepreneur, how it looks like. So I would like you to guys to like paint a nice picture for the viewers, who by what it is to be a Black entrepreneur in our country. We're gonna like we share the good, the bad, and the nasty of entrepreneurial. I don't know, Lona, if you share, but the business, not that we protect that too much. But anyway, yeah. So the common thing every some fun like we want financial freedom wa wa ntlhaloganya? And we practicing this financial freedom by basically owning our own thing. So the gents came through their own time, the ladies balata, agiti wa balata, mga kushapo. So without further ado, guys, ke kopa le introduce, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do. I know you guys have been here, but just reintroduce. And on top of that, please add on Hore, what type of entrepreneur are you? So, re tlo start ka Muso. Muso, are you ready?
Ibo, I am. Hello,
Okay.
everybody. Hello, panelists. Hello, Molesh. Hello, audience members. Bakolaping. Musa Mafisa speaking, co-founder and CEO of Veza Interactive, which is a mixed reality company designing some immersive solutions for educational and marketing purposes. And I'd like to consider myself as a social entrepreneur who leverages technology, right? Because our key focus is driving impact using 4IR solutions. We're making practical applications in the form of apps, digital tailored experiences, to heighten the learning journey for customers and students and teachers. So in a nutshell, that's what we do at Veza Interactive. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Mo, for the wonderful platform.
Awesome. Tabo and KG, you ready?
Yeah. You gonna go first? That's fine. Morning, guys. My name is Kagiso Babupi. I am Managing Director of Surftex Pty Ltd. Business, well, the main focus of the business is mining, equipment in the mining space. We also specialize in some niche markets like your asbestos assessments, asbestos removals, do a little bit of solar. I've been in the business for about 7 years. So yeah, I look forward to interacting with you guys, explaining more about what I do, how it's been, the challenge. Yeah, look forward to the conversation.
And then, Emma, before
Right.
what type of entrepreneur are you, when Kagiso?
I don't understand the question. What does it mean?
Okay, so wait, it's categorized, ne? There is
Yeah.
hustler entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, imitative entrepreneur, innovative entrepreneur. So there's so many of them. I could just remember a few. So I don't think you fall under those ones, Wenani.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure where I fall. I'm more of maybe a serial entrepreneur. The stage of hustling, I think I've really tried to grow the corporatized sort of structure, the formal kind of structure. So I wouldn't need more. I think I've gotten more serious about what I do, business going forward. Focusing on niche markets, the business to certain kind of clients, being your big planning houses. So yeah, I'd like to think I'm more of a serious entrepreneur probably 2 or 3 years ago. Formal, business ways in place, everything's sort of formalized. Like I'm that kind of entrepreneur. I don't know what you call it, but I am that entrepreneur.
I'll find one because there's so many. Pella, there are so many of them. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna find it for you. What type of entrepreneur you are.
Okay, 100%. I'll appreciate that.
Yeah. Tabo.
All right. Thank you once more, Muli. Tabo Simalani from Ralph McGrady Mathematics Academy. The main focus of our business is to create curriculum support programs in mathematics and science, interview. We have actually moved quite. So we've actually started incorporating technology as answers learning. And Mr. Mafisa here is and basically our partner, and basically our vision is to change education in the country, more especially STEM focused mathematics and science, and using technology. If we can leverage technology to enhance learning, we'll have more learners that mathematics and science, and there's no better way to actually have of learners into the varsity system. And we rate the standard of our education right now, with time depleting in terms of the quality, in terms of the that we produce. So what we have come up with is innovative solution, to do what in math and science, and as I said, using technology as foundation of learning, and we've seen quite extensive success, as I said. And 23 is going to be a very exciting year because now we're moving into buildings and science labs, and as we know, those that have done science, mathematics, and science, or visualize, those complex physics concepts, visualization. So we're moving into the space of actually using augmented reality and management system, to enhance visualization, so that learners that are in previous disadvantaged communities and they don't have resources, they're able to enhance learning and perform your science experiments using VR with particular tools. As I said, a lot of our schools are quite dilapidated. They don't have the resources to basically enhance their learning. So yeah, we're in this space, and we until we make sure that we have we help as many learners at this stage. We're sitting with about 100 learners in the math and science space. So we're getting results from the previous exam, and we're doing pretty well because we do this with us. And then from an entrepreneur's point of view, definitely I am.
When are Tabo or social entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I'm solving social problems while being paid for it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, both. Yeah, you're on it. Lebogaga, are you ready?
Yes, I'm always ready.
Okay, let's go.
Yes, my name is Lebogang Legau, and I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm the CEO and founder of Keep Up Water. Keep Up Water is basically a water bottle company which has recently ventured into water education as well. And we basically provide a comprehensive range of bottled water. You can imagine we make from 330 mils to even JoJo tanks, where we can get clients babatlang, proper safe drinking water to safe drinking water. But my thing is to just make sure, schools around South Africa or just in Gauteng, because that's basically where we are based right now, is that they have safe drinking water for kids, So what we then do, we sell this to raise funds to then be able to go into schools and assist where we can. So we have done almost 16 schools now, where we go into the schools, we educate kids about, the importance of saving water and how they can do it. And we also get to also assist the schools in terms of, their own restrictions that they have, their own challenges that they have. Some of the schools don't have proper taps, you can imagine. And some don't even have proper sanitation, services or sanitation in place, in school. So what we do, we work a lot with partners and sponsors that we just plead to say, guys, just buy this. We don't need your money. Just buy water from us, and then Rona will be able to get into schools and just be able to assist schools and help them actually to have proper drinking water to drink for kids. So the company has grown in terms of it being a water company, because we've recently got other brands that are coming to us to say, guys, we want our own logo on the bottle, and can you do it for us? And we can actually, because Rona, we get to actually engage with other companies, as I said, to say we need partners, we need sponsors to be able to, to reach as many schools as we can. But obviously we have unemployed graduates that we work with that we want to obviously assist in terms of them getting exposed to a working environment and also give them a chance to also be employable. But our thing is to just make sure that we are able to grow this brand and help as many schools as we can, and just and grow. But the water is basically available on subscription. We deliver to residential houses. So Renalia subscription that our customers can join, which is basically like like any other subscription, like your DSTV, perhaps, maybe if I can make an example, where you pay a certain amount of money. In our case, it's only $100, and we get to deliver for free to you and deliver water to you straight to your door. And that's basically what we do. But our thing is to just be active advocates, for people to have proper drinking water, and also, networking in that process by engaging other sponsors, engaging partners to say, guys, let's come together. What is it that we can do as a company, as a water company, to help you to ensure that you have proper, water solutions. So we also have, the water dispensers that we also lease out to companies and offices. These are the water dispensers that are used for the officing and even households even. So we do have that offer as well. But our main thing as Keep Up Water is to just say, guys, we need to save water, because the water that we have right now is the only water we're ever gonna have, and it's gold. We just have to understand that this is a precious resource and we need to use it wisely. So yeah, that's what we do.
Awesome. Hey, yeah, guys, I can see like honestly improvement compared to the last session. La ngata ka details gore di tshangela bereka hle. But I am honestly proud of you guys, ne? So conversation. So my first question I'm posing to you guys is, what do you think are some of the reasons? Oh, am I big? Pusha, are you there?
Hey, Mo. How are you doing?
I'm good. Like, okay, yeah. Please introduce yourself. Yeah, great.
I've been having some network issues. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Good.
So my name is B.A. Pusha. I'm a digital entrepreneur. I don't know if I do, if it's necessary, because I don't want to waste your guys' time. I know I've been trying to connect.
Nah,
They
it's
like to
okay.
twist it.
Chill,
Is it
chill,
okay?
chill, chill. We got
All
time.
right. So I'm a digital entrepreneur. I'm a job. I've been a digital entrepreneur for the past 3 years, right? Digital entrepreneur is entrepreneurship basically, but everything that we do is online. So we sell products online and teach people what we're doing, and we've been doing this for the past 3 years. And on YouTube, learning the skill of becoming a digital. What I've been doing, becoming an entrepreneur. Well, being an entrepreneur for the past 10 years, I've seen now when it comes to actually making revenue. It took me 3 months to get to a place where I was comfortable. Financial freedom is, and the traditional entrepreneurship that I was in which I was in the entertainment industry, running an entertainment company. I wasn't able to see those type of results. So yeah, I started my entertainment company 10 years ago, and then we had to shut down our offices, and then I learned how to basically sell online over the past 3 years, which was 2020 while we were still in COVID, and started after starting up a YouTube channel. I started doing research online. So everything I know, so entrepreneurship, I learned it from content creators overseas. Also about 6 to 7 months to start my own online shop, to start my own Shopify ads, Facebook ads, and start making profits while I was still in COVID. Learning about this just took me over like a year or two. My channel, because I was teaching step by step what I was learning from other content creators. Today, my team and I are like, I've got a team of like 11 people that basically having master classes and teaching people what we do, but having to open up. I didn't know they're able to get in South Africa. I think I'm the first. Let me say I'm one of the first drop shippers in South Africa. I'll explain what drop shipping is. I don't want to get too much in, but it's basically selling online digitally anywhere in the world. You could be in South Africa connection, and as long as you know how to run Facebook ads to someone in China, if you want to, right? So you can sell products from China to.
Yo, we lost Pusha there. Okay. So okay, the question I want to pose to my guests here is, what do you think it is that holds Black people from starting their own businesses? So okay, let me do this. I guess so. So Kimang Oling ready ko araf.
Let me give it a try.
What's up?
Okay.
Okay, who's gonna go first?
Who's gonna go first?
You can go,
With what?
KG.
I don't mind.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. Okay.
Okay, Muso can go
Pusha.
first.
What's going on?
What's going on? No, we lost you. So I said we'll get you back once you are connected. So I posed a question, yeah. Why do you guys think why do black people why do you guys think black people are afraid or don't want to start their own businesses? So yeah. Hold them back actually.
So just a quick one. I
Okay.
think one of the biggest problems is that okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So the question being, why don't too many Black people start their own companies or businesses? Is because the whole idea of
Yeah.
entrepreneurship has been overly romanticized. Okay. And by that, I mean that people hear the word business or entrepreneurship and they think, oh shit, tender. Oh, am I allowed to swear here? Sorry. I just need to know PG or under 18. But yeah, ideally, people misappropriate the term businessman or entrepreneurship and think instant gratification. They think you start a business today, in 6 months, you're gonna be, in profit, you're gonna be scaling up, you're gonna be going international. Where the truth is, business and entrepreneurship is a very lonely, very hard, very isolating journey. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people are afraid now to do it, because you find some people like ourselves. I've seen a lot of the people on the panel here, they put themselves out there. You're sharing your journeys online, you're sharing your failures online, you're sharing your successes online. That kind of then motivates people like, oh, Musu, if he can do it, I can do it. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
there's so much that goes in business. A large part of business is failure. So a lot of people are afraid to fail. A lot of people are afraid to go through. A lot of people are afraid to pivot, because pivoting, number one, means that you need to, whatever you thought is going to work or whatever you thought is going to take you in this direction, you have to readjust. So that readjusting and that, reframing of your business and the problem that you're solving, that's hard, dude. That's very hard. So that's my opinion. It's been overly romanticized. Business, you're gonna pop off in the first year. You know what I mean? They Silicon Valley-nize it, if there's a term, right? You think in Silicon Valley, you have an idea, there's a funder, angel investor who pumps in money. Then no, it doesn't work like that. So I think that's why people reluctant to start businesses right now. They're afraid of failure, they're afraid of hardship, which is great. Failure is the best part of business, because that's where you learn the key details to transform you and take you to the next level.
All right. Thabo, are you ready?
That's my 2 cents.
Yes. Yeah, that's one. So that's one day. I mean, from I mean, a lot of people open businesses for all wrong reasons, right? People open business to make money, but our philosophy is quite basic. We start businesses not to make money, but to solve a problem, an effect of that. And as Musa said, you've got to understand that you must be paid, must change your mindset and embrace failure, because you will fail time. You must just have the tenacity to bounce back whenever you fail. So bounce back for me is what defines you as an entrepreneur, not how much revenue, how much profit you report. The ability to bounce back from failure is what. So as Black people, we don't have the patience to actually, see a level where we are profitable. Instant gratification is a problem. You have, your idea of a business is making money, but that's not the reality. That's why a lot of people get to give up, along the way, because they realize that the journey is not a bit of patience, hard work, and most importantly, you've got to understand that nobody owes you nothing. Actually, nobody owes you anything. If somebody has promised you a million around speaking ill of them or being angry about it, no, they don't owe you anything. Or go to the door doesn't open, go to the next one. If the third, the fourth, the fifth doesn't open, you keep moving for opportunity. It's quite important that you don't sit idle or start overthinking. Time to actually come. What's important for you to do is to keep improving which is what we've also been doing together with our partners, as Interactive. So every door that closes, we don't sit in the corner and cry. Yeah, we do shed, but what we then do is let's take the time that we have while waiting for our doors to open. Our solution to keep improving our products, because the next door that will be pitching a solution or a product that is a lot better than what we would have, patience, hard work, eliminate profits, eliminate those things come as a result of having a solid product that the market sees. So what's important is stay patient, work hard. Nobody owes you instant gratification. I think entrepreneurs are the most poorest people even when they're not making the money. So you need to stop thinking that you make patience, make sure that you improve your craft solution in the market that people will be addicted to, and that takes time, effort, years, and a lot of emotions. That's my 2 cents.
Okay,
Yes.
so if I understand the question properly, why don't black people start businesses or go into business? So I think that's quite a big question. I mean, that's a lot of reasons why I think black people don't go into business. I'm just gonna narrow it down to like 1 or 2. I think particularly black people is that we don't have good base a lot in why people traditionally don't start business, are from homes where, our parents were working, they or you see, or they were told that, business is not necessarily for you. Basically, brainwashed into thinking that, as a black man, if you are in business, you must have done something or you must have known somebody. So I think our background plays a lot, orientation plays a lot in what people think business is. I was saying, and I think Musa was also saying that when black people get into business, they know what business is. That's why you find instant gratification. That's why you find people what it takes to actually be a successful entrepreneur. So I think a big part of why black people simply don't get into business, or when they do get into business, they end up doing the wrong things. And I think it will take us many generations, liberated, I think, mentally, to actually accept other races. We're as good as white people. We can start businesses. We think like Indian people, because in South Africa, when they talk about business, they think about or is from that particular background. So I think background plays a big role. That's why education also from a young age needs to be looked at. You need to look at the curriculum and actually say, are we actually teaching kids at school, or are we teaching them to think? Because I think if you breed thinkers at a young age in high school, already people will change their mindsets in terms of, look, I can be successful. I think also the second thing is definitely, I think they play a major role, probably more than 50% of why black people don't get it. They've also created an environment where, being a black businessman, you have to be politically connected, or you have to be from an elite background, you have to have went to a particular school, a particular university, or whatever. The ease of doing business, there's something called, I think everybody who's listening and should actually go Google this. There's an index called an ease of doing. Basically, research is done on how easy it is to do business and get regulations. They look at education, they look at leadership of the country, and then index, because I think in 2020, I think between 2019 we ranked 84th in the world. If you think about the number of countries in the world we are ranked, it's so difficult to do business or to start a business in South Africa, where if you look at what we have natural we have one of the best weathers in the world. We have good high up there. We have a lot of things going on for us, but still, we are not down that index to be in the top 10 of that index. That says a lot. That also speaks to unity, because we are the majority. The white people only constitute between 10 and 15. They control the majority of the wealth. That says a lot. That says the government an enabling environment for young black entrepreneurs. It's not creating an environment, but still being business. So, it's almost a situation where if you're poor, or if you're from a particular background, you condemn to going to school, getting a job in a call center, simply not there. As much as they think, they're creating an enabling environment by creating this, that, Department of Small Business. I think in this forum, we've spoken, creating a Department of Small Business is not going to help you if you make, you can have all the days, you can have Department of this, Minister of Small Business, you can have those useless things like BOSITA, those funding houses, the investment corporation. But if you don't focus on policy, which drives the ease of the person, does not see themselves as a business person. They see themselves as an entrepreneur. They see themselves as buying or selling to municipalities, selling to the employees, having a good time, So policy and government is completely wrong. They're not focusing. It's like Singapore. If I had the money to go to Singapore, I could arrive with $5,000 tomorrow, and I'd have a business within a couple of minutes. Insurance, CIPC, everything would be done so quickly that it's actually kind of countries when you have money but you're not in business. So it says a lot about us, because you have to struggle a lot for you to get for a minister to listen to the problem. For a mayor, where you come from, I don't even know the mayor. You know what I mean? I don't know who the councillor is. I don't know anything about anything that's going on in business. Literally, if I saw stuff, very little things, very few things from Randfontein. I don't know anything. There's no business environment. I don't know who sells tires, oil. I don't know who sells anything. I don't know the skills database. I don't know who did. Really, for me to get a person, I have to go to Mpumalanga to go get an operator and genie. So it says a lot that you can't go to them and say, guys, I have diploma, I have degree, I have PhD, so that I can put them in them. So you can just imagine that if an environment is like that, like person, say to themselves, that I'm gonna be in business. No, those people are not interested. They're interested in connections. They're interested in the ANC. They're interested in the EFF. They're interested in whatever. So I think policy is a complete failure. It's not even. It's down. Like we don't need a minister of small business. We need a policy for small business. Reading up anyway in any government business, any student government doesn't even know. It's I'm saying, I create know me, and I'm not saying he or she's supposed to know me, but we are supposed to work together. That other businesses are supported and funded, but they're not. They're not like they don't elections, but they're not. They don't care. It's like whoever drives. You know what I mean? So I think policy is very big. I think education that needs to be looked into to actually encourage kids. I can do business. I can think. I can innovate. I can hire people. I think for me, those are two main things. Education, policy. I think we'll be dead by the time. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents into why black people don't get into proper businesses. Yes. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, guys. Thanks.
And just
So Kagiso,
educate
based on
you-
what you based on what you said, ne, like something came to mind about Tabaya, you know, the common challenges we are facing today are the black entrepreneurs. It's always access to information, access to money, resources, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, do you think we still have got a long way to actually fix that, or are we getting there?
No, we are miles. Even, you know, I think I went to Kenya while I was thinking I think it was 2018 or 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those people are miles ahead. We are miles behind. They have all the things that they needed. It's at the fingertips. So in countries like that, policy, if you're not in business, it's like a strange thing. Why is this guy not in? Like, what do you mean you don't have the information? So there's no information. There's nothing. Literally, I'm from Randfontein. I do business in Randfontein, but I don't know anything. Nothing. I don't know even Masipala offices whether I change. It's still the same. I'm telling you, I go there every single 2 days of my life. I pass through Randfontein. Who's doing what? Where the mayor is, where the Department of Small Businesses, where's the agricultural, you know, and we want to buy those services. I want to buy those services. I want to support the people that I can support, I do support, but at the end of the day, we are miles behind. And we've been benchmarking for years. I mean, ministers have gone to China, tried to go to Malaysia, they've gone to Thailand, you know, people are going there, but it's not policy. It's not policy. There's no policy that's been changed. They go to Singapore a couple of years ago. Where the policy is similar to Singapore, to start a business within 5 minutes. The policies are done there. Starting a blue upside the FN. Actually, everybody's to blame. I think also let me just mention that in closing, the corporates as well are to blame, because those comfortable, they don't need to enhance anything. They've tried, okay, initiatives, you can open up a business. A long time to do that, you know. So also corporates as well are to blame for those kind of things. We don't, like, there's nothing, there's no information. You can even get on Google now. There's nothing. But yeah.
And just to
Okay.
add to that, right? I mean,
Thabo, bare mic wa lona how clear?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
let's try and move it closer. The point
Okay,
Katie
yeah,
was
sure.
making, for me, I think policy is the biggest concern. Do as much benchmarking as you want, but if there's no will to do things right, I mean, we are a country that produces one of the best engineers in the world, accountants in the world, but we are not efficient. You know, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we work closely with. We actually developing quite groundbreaking, you know, technology that enhance get to be given an opportunity to sit on a table and say, this is what we have, and this is what we know, how it can actually help the country. There is no will at all. And I mean, if you look at small businesses, not just employers in an economy. And I mean, if you cannot create the biggest employers, you are destined to fail. And as KG said, no access to funding. There's so much red tape. All of those things are basically discouraging. For me, policy is where we need to start. Policy is where we need to. We can go to Singapore and benchmark, right? The reason why in this country is because the environment is not wired for that. There's so much who you know. It's not about the product. It's not about the solution that you're putting into the market and what's in it for them. We cannot run accounting. We will not. Up until policy can be fixed. Up until we can realize that small businesses are the biggest of economic growth, then I'm telling you, we'll be successful as a country.
Yeah. All right. Bito already.
Yes, I think, and thank you so much to the panel. I think they've actually covered most of what I was going to say. But my thing is, guys, we need to also, you know, understand that we also have a responsibility, you know, to understand who we are before we can start venturing into business and start, you know, wanting to be in business. Because we need to first, it's very important that you understand the difference between entrepreneurship and a business. And in my opinion, I think a business is when you like something and you are able to buy and just sell. And there's no need for registrations and compliance and all of those things that would actually make you start later, you know. And I think policy, it's a key issue. We all know, guys, that I mean, if you go to SARS right now to say about a tax clearance, it's going to take you the whole day. CIPC is worse. If you go there yourself, it's just not functioning. And I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because entrepreneurs are obviously solution orientated. That's why we start businesses, to solve problems, you know. And the main thing would be really to invest in what you want to do. That's number one. And there's no shying away from it, to the fact that, you know, we are on our own, guys. You know, there's no one is coming to save us as entrepreneurs. No one is actually going to come and say, here's a tender or here's a project, you can supply the whole school with water or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is a responsibility for entrepreneurs to just understand what you're getting yourself into before you start a business. But I think the main reason why people and Black people are not, or are just contemplating to starting a business and all of that, I think it's one, the fear of the unknown. It's also the fact that, I mean, we our background, as Thabo said and KG, is that we were taught, even now, we go to school to get a job, you know. And I was lucky to actually want to be in business from an early age, even though my parents were actually not, you know, even supporting me in that. But I had to convince them to say, a business is not like the shop ya Shabalala that is now closed and that's it, you know. But it's so broad that you can actually do so many things. And I think background, being taught you need to get a degree to go work, is one of the major things that are just, you know, not giving us the motivation as Black people to start a business. And sometimes it's just access to capital. The thing of you need money to make money is also something that has been like a stigma, where we believe, oh, you need money to start this business. But unfortunately, it's not, because if you can just look at it, guys, a business, it's buying and selling. And if we can just understand that part, to say business and profit, buy, sell, put money away, buy, sell, put money away, that alone is business. And that's how it basically starts. And it's just that obviously we are just all in different levels, and we are all in different we've actually experienced business differently. But that should be the key thing that, you know, we try to drive also as entrepreneurs, to say, guys, it's not this whole thing that you must have a fancy logo, you must have a fancy marketing. You'll get there, but the main thing is profit. Buy your pack of stock and sell, and make a markup, restock, sell. I think that's the main thing that we need to drive as entrepreneurs. And obviously, we can't change policies as entrepreneurs, but we do have the responsibility to actually work on getting into those conversations and into those doors where we can at least get to be heard. Because I strongly believe that we have the right people. Like this panel, I think this is this is such a privilege for me to be part of such great minds. And I think, guys, we can actually do something if we can really try to hold on together and try to change things, I think.
Thank you, Bito. Why is it like didn't just a game moon? Yeah. So yeah, Pusha, take it away.
That's a game.
Hey.
I being the last one is a problem, because everyone is going to basically, the last panelist took it out of my mouth, right? We experience entrepreneurship in a different way. So when we go to school, we are already programmed to be workers, to be entrepreneurs already, from primary school all the way to high school to tertiary. What we've been taught. We've been taught if you need to go to the toilet, you need to ask for permission. Straight line. You need to do certain things. So we're already programmed in high school and primary school already that we are going to be as adults. We need to do 1, 2. You can't go over, lines in order to get something, to achieve something a little bit faster, So we're not scared to start businesses. It's a lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge of I need to start it, because we go to these conferences, we go to these people are here, they're watching us. We go to a place says how to start a business. When you get there, someone is telling you how they started business with one feather. That doesn't help me, right? You are there, you're motivating, you're giving us this, you are gaslighting us. This has been happening to me for years. With information to say to get a CK, you need an ID, you need this is where you go to get that CK. You need a bank account, you need 500 FMB. This is the type of information we want. We don't want people coming here and how they are making these types of money, and if I can do it, you step by step guide. How do I get there faster? How do I whoever you are, but a little bit faster like myself took. Guys, the 80s, 70s, even 70s, we had to play the part where we go to places like Umsobomvu. I don't know if people know that. Umsobomvu needed to go to all those stages and find and do that part as those traditional entrepreneurs. But the guys that are coming up right now, the 16, 17-year-olds, they're not taking any prisoners. These guys are starting up business. They're drop shipping from high school. They have a laptop. They're making money because of what we are now doing as the generation that is teaching. Yes, the politics failed us. It's fine. That's the government. I will never talk. You'll never hear me talk about the government. You'll never hear municipality. They failed us and they'll keep on failing us. It's there. People panel are the ones that are able to say, hey, these people, but now that I've learned all of this, this is a step-by-step guide of exactly how you can. We'll talk about gratification, or people are looking to make things. We are in 2022. Your smartphone, you can make money out of your smartphone. Dollars. You can make that. That means that all these things that we're looking from the government, the policies, and all this to think like the traditional entrepreneur is things of the past. A 16-year-old who's doing a 16-year-old cousin who's doing what's this thrift. Basically means that you get old clothes and you sell them online. He's making 20,000 in 2 weeks. Are you now going to tell that 16-year-old to go for that? They have the information. They know where to purchase the items. They know how to run certain. They know the target audience. These are the type of things. Like he said, you business. People are like, you can't start business for money. What are you starting business for? Charity work. And literally, charity was me running my entertainment company. It was charity work. I've invested in people. I didn't invest in myself. Because when you start into hot artists, you invest in them and hope for the best. If they make it, I do investment. That's not business. Right? Because the person can turn around and say, anyone with ambitious. What is the contract? Right? Your ROI is I buy this and I sell it at this price. I get my profit. Even worse, now you with drop shipping. Literally, I'm not going to take too long, but you don't need to buy things. Sell your item, right, from the comfort of my home and without you even seeing me. So there's no what's this gatekeepers initiative. I don't have to have connection. I don't have to sleep with anyone. I don't have to do additionally in order to become successful. Nobody knows who over that we did. Nobody knows there was a black individual. They don't know. People who are buying on Takealot and people who are buying on our online stores, they know that. They're not buying us. They're not buying the services. They're not buying. That's why I say, but we didn't know who Batu is. The same way that we don't know who Gucci. You understand? But we'll still buy Gucci at a certain. But because I know who runs Batu for 1.5 and support this guy. But if there was just that I have with no face, it's online. I'm doing this certain marketing, beautiful marketing. But I'm just saying that right now we don't have gatekeeping when it comes to entrepreneurship. When it comes to I don't know if I want to say traditional entrepreneuring. There's no gatekeeping. You get a 16-year-old in high school. Sorry about that.
Evan, unyametse pusha you.
Dropping
Okay.
bars that time.
Hey, uliti. Okay, I feel and then the next question I have for you guys is do you ever get imposter syndrome, and how do you deal with it? Do you guys know what it is?
Just explain.
So from this definition I got, they explain it in this way. Imposter syndrome is the experience of feeling like a foe. Feel as though you at that moment you are going to be found as a fraud, like you don't fit in, regardless your social standard, your background, your level of skills and expertise, and you got to a certain space ka luck. Did I make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you
100%.
did make sense.
So
I
already,
can answer that.
yeah.
No,
Sure.
Muso, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Go ahead, Muso, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, sure. I mean, yeah, I have felt that way indirectly and directly, right? So for context, I felt like that purely because of being black in the tech space, right? Predominantly, we've always had white people, Asian people in the space. So I mean, even today, or not today, like recently, I've found such value in being underestimated, right? Because you walk in a room, might have your Nikes on or whatever, the non-conventional corporate aesthetic, right? And people look at it immediately. And then on top of that, it's the black skin, right? So compounded with the fact that this guy does he even know what he's doing? Is he even technically competent enough for this job? Only to find out that the services we're offering is, way above global standards. Some people in Asia aren't doing what we're doing. People in America are astonished by the things we're doing, literally being designed in the township of Mutlaking, right? People like, wow, what are you guys doing this? What? So that type of approach, or that type of, it's kind of like passive aggression, in the corporate space. That does give off a feeling of, imposter syndrome. Like, hey, am I supposed to? Our people are allowed to be here. But the more you realize that the products and solutions you're offering is actually adding value to the people using them, then the imposter syndrome in that indirect way falls away, because then you are validated, right? Your work is validated. You don't even need to speak. The work speaks for you, right? And then the direct sort of manner in which I've felt imposter syndrome is looking at, some of my peers as well, people you may have grown up with, people who at a certain stage were maybe more knowledgeable than you, were maybe more, economically stable than you. And you look at them now and they're not in that position anymore, right? And you're like, hey, did I actually cheat? Is this, is this worth going for? So that's kind of like how I've experienced it. And the one way that has helped me to pull me back, to anchor me back, has been my circle of influence, my immediate circle of influence, right? My business partners, friends and family, associates, because these people sometimes, which is a very big opportunity, sometimes they see value more than you do, because you are maybe blinded, but there's bills to be paid, I don't have this software, right, or whatever, but they seeing, that value more than you might be. So that's kind of like how you go back to like, hey, okay, maybe I need to be in this room. Yeah, I need to be, pitching, bidding for projects of this nature, or whatever. So, I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. It does. My twin, silly ready.
Yeah, I think from my side, Muso summed it up. Look, it also comes from self-doubt. We were raised looking at the communities that we grew up in, that is, extremely elevated. You even when we achieve, small victories, you start doubting yourself. To say, am I the one? So, for as long as you're black, you come from a previously disadvantaged, you will experience imposter syndrome, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the guys have summed it up really well. Like I mentioned in my first reply to the question, that our backgrounds also give us that sort of. I think our confidence levels are not boosted at a young age, and look, we can't really blame our parents. Most of us can't blame our parents. Our parents grew up in a system where you go to school, you become a teacher, that's it. So I think, most of us, where you feel, you're probably not good enough. People have better backgrounds. You know what I mean? But I think the most important thing with is what you do about it. How do you turn that energy, self-doubt into confidence? How do you turn thinking that you can't do something? How do you do it? How do you actually turn a couple of ways of turning it around? I think educating yourself, I think self-learning plays a big part in terms of entrepreneurship. Went to school, did accounting, but we in the industry is important to deal with imposter syndrome. The better you know, if you have information, you have that confidence. You know that if you get into an environment where you can answer questions, you can come up with solutions. So I think 100%, unless you're from a special background where you grew up in a business or your parents need to explore or stuff like that. But I think what you do about it is important. Also teach entrepreneurs that skill. I think it's also that self-confidence. I always say to Tabo, people think small because of they're thinking, no, but I'm not gonna be the next or whatever. But you are the next cure. I mean, why not? I mean, private school. I think so. That's important. You need to realize that if you're gonna be in the water business, you can. I mean, why not?
Yeah,
you are the Valpre, you are the Aquelo. There's nothing that's stopping you. I mean, so that self-belief is important. It's key. We need to get. Some of us it took us a long time, but some of us it took us fast. I tell you, when I went into what I did, I think it first. I literally I used to walk into boardrooms with not even owning a single truck, but I'd make sure that I get out of there with the deal. That imposter syndrome, it's always going to be there. We can't frown on people. We can't frown on people that even on the extreme. I think our part, in entrepreneurs, established entrepreneurs, is to say, how do we actually encourage that imposter syndrome? How do we turn their energy? And there's a couple of things. I mean, like I said, you can do education. In his main business of teaching, he doesn't even. He starts with the student. He focuses on the attitude. If you have a bad attitude, if you have that imposter syndrome of no, I'm not good at a student, already you've lost the battle. So I think if somebody's positive about what's possible, you've already won half the battle, because most people that we think are smart or this, those people are just confident. They walk into boardrooms and do whatever they need to do. They say whatever, listen. They make people buy products, because they overcame the thinking that they're good enough. And I think once you've dealt with that, you can.
Just to add to Cage's point, right? A lot of the issues around why the confidence starts at school. When you get to the class on the board, the teacher becomes the pastor. In church, nobody is allowed to change. When the pastor gives a word, it's final. But that is not how we need to induce confidence, right? Allow them to have a conversation in class. At class, okay, this is what things are, and take them and then go home. No, a learner must say, but I don't agree with that particular differential equation. I think so. Also, in the education system, we need to make sure that we align. Then a lot of people come to Rauman Grady Mathematics Academy and say, do it. It's very easy. Give the learners confidence to go and fight. Confidence, then it's easy for them to actually win any battle. So at this point, it's quite historical. And it starts in the classroom. Allow them to. I mean, there's no such thing as a BS to take out all the BS so that you can fix it as somebody that's in that space. It all starts in the classroom. We need to make sure that as teaching incubators, we give our learners confidence. If a learner has they can actually reach any level that they want to reach in life. You know, they don't have to suffer from an imposter syndrome because they are confident in how they articulate themselves. They're in their solutions. They're confident in what they're selling to you. You know, is that you know, differentiate between you know, success and failure.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Thabo. Wait, Takatso, o are tlamehile re summarize more KG a buang teng because ha mutli. So I think I get to summarize yang KG tlamehile re etse plan. Lebogang, are you ready?
I think his mic is muted.
A re go utlwi Lebogang. Still a re go utlwi oh yeah. Sorry.
Mute me, please. You muted me. Sorry. I think I'm just worried.
Honoras, asking.
Okay, Aski, I'm so sorry for that. I think it's key that we find to summarize what KG was saying. I think it's very important, guys, that we have record of everything.
Yes.
But need I say more, guys? The panel has actually covered everything. But in my space, now I had to actually, you know, put away the fact that this is a black-owned product and the owner is 100% black and all of that, because in my space, not a lot of black people buy bottled water. And I had to get to a point where I kind of remove my face from the brand itself, because obviously that was just attached to me to say, okay, this is the product and I'm the main man, you know. So that was actually giving me a problem, especially when it comes to white customers, because what we do, we target the estate and complexes and just residential areas where we just want to come and deliver this water every month. So I had to kind of make this brand neutral to a point where you can't really tell, is this a black company, or, you know. And obviously it's important to say, guys, you know, support black, and we have to support each other. We have to, you know, make sure we are able to, you know, to at least, you know, support that black business that you know. But I think it was in my space, it was just key, you know, to say, look, this is business, and for me to be able to leverage and to reach the potential, the full potential of this business, I just need to, you know, find a way to accommodate everyone and not really necessarily, you know, announce to say it's a black-owned business. Because I've tried, guys. My immediate family, friends, neighbors, yes, there will be black customers that I'm getting, but a whole lot of customers come from, you know, the areas that we are targeting, which is just in gated communities where we know once we get one house there, we're just going to try to find a way to get everyone in there to subscribe to us. And, you know, and then when we do deliveries, it just makes it easy for us to also deliver at the whole area there, instead of just going there and just delivering at one house. So I think it is there, the thing, you know, to say, black, you want to sell me water, you know, something that I'm going to drink, you know, because it's key, the safety that comes with whatever that you sell, especially if it's food or a drink or a beverage, whatever, you need to make sure, you know, your customers are safe and the standards are met. But sometimes you meet all of those standards, but because olechau, you know, it just becomes, I'd rather buy Aqueli, and of which it's not really the main thing to say we are competing with Coca-Cola. No, of course we are, but we don't want to take them out of the game. We want to do what we do, which is to just address the fact that we are more into water education more than anything else. Like now we have a book that it's an educational book that we have coming soon, which will be for kids, educating them about water and the water cycle and all of that. But the main thing here is that in my space, it is the thing that Muso was actually highlighting, to say, you black and you want us to sell water, or you want this water to be at a Woolies. You know, I had to remove myself as that person that would say black business, you know, BEE, you know, but it was just not working in my favor then. But since I've removed the face, especially when it comes to just normal marketing, I just market like any other business, and I don't really necessarily scream to say, hey guys, hey, this is black water, and you know. But I think it's something that is a major thing that impacts businesses, especially when you know your stuff and you are competing, and you know, the fact that you are unfortunately black can be a problem. So yeah, I think that's how I got to experience it, and it's working for me because I'm also able not to be so much attached to this business, because obviously the plan is to actually outlive this business. It's to basically see it working even when I'm not there. So if I'm going to be that face all the time, then what happens when I'm gone? You know, so I think sometimes we just need to be able to lay it down, to say, okay, this is business, and let's try to, you know, to just approach it that way. I actually even got to a point where I needed someone that was white to translate my book to Afrikaans, to even edit my water book in English, because I mean, that's how bad it is, you know. But we soldier on. We don't say we are, because we are black, therefore we can't get into an exclusive book or get publishing from an educational publisher. But we still, you know, try to find ways to just shy away from that question, which for me was such an interesting thing to hear, Jorge. Even in the tech space, you find that, you know, they're expecting a white guy or a Chinese guy to have this technology thingy going, but we have capable people, and we have people that know their thing, that can actually be game changers in the technology space. And I just believe that we just need to always work smart, but some of the things and the policies and just our background as black people do somehow work at a disadvantage, at our disadvantage.
Thank you, Vito. Pusha, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good. Just I think I was gone for. Can you just repeat the question for me?
Cool. The imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Do you know what's an imposter syndrome?
Yeah,
Can you hear
I'm
me?
aware what it is. Look, I think panelists always sums up everything that you know, saying I want to say, because you know, it really doesn't matter with color, or it's just with the who you are, you know what I'm saying, of what you're doing, you know, or how you feel about it, you know. With myself, I could be doing the most. I could look at my achievements and still think I'm not doing the best, you know. I'm not as much as other you know, people in my competition or anyone in my space is doing. So, you know, also going back into what I am, the industry that I'm in right now, I'm so happy in myself, because with me it's even worse, you know. Not only I'm black, but I'm gay, you know. I'm you know, in the industry with GBVs, all of these things. So everything is against me. So when I was able to not even hide, but not become the brand, it's just basically the product that's been sold or whatever that's been, everything is online with online businesses. Is that you who is, so you don't get that much judgment of who's selling the water. Is this gonna be, it's just pure water that's been sold on a platform that you are your problem. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take much on that. Basically summed it up. Yeah.
So okay, ke starta ka wena gona no, ne? Since so
Please start with
what are common mistakes? What are the common mistakes Black entrepreneurs make? More especially when it comes to finances, when they first they ba lo reka bo di-Vroepa, ba lo reka bo di-Good. Is it is it do we lack financial discipline, or is it deeper than that?
both. So you must remember, accounting in tertiary is not financial, not our money, or understanding that business money is not your money. If you cannot, as a business, and this took me time to understand, because you make revenue, you think that 100K is yours, not knowing of, you do pay certain experts of your business so that you can keep on that type of income coming in. But because that money has come in, you don't have a personal bank account, and you don't have a business bank account. So everything that comes, you're like, it's your money. So I would say we have to understand where we come from. We are new to money. Money is something that we, as the generation that comes into, is new to us. Knowing that, I don't have to really stress. I don't have to stress about, going to eat over, about those certain things. That is new to us. White people, when they grow up, by the age of 18, 17, they're going to get a car. Their parents are going to pay their 3 months rent. So it's a generational thing that I don't want to say curse. I just want to say general outlook on us, to say that, guys, it gets into your bank account. How do you feel knowing that you couldn't afford a certain thing and you can afford it? Of course you're going to want that BMW. Of course you're going to want to go and stay in that estate. Of course it doesn't allow you. That's business money. But you want to also show, like, Koka, I have arrived. This is me now. It's something to say, yeah, prospering. I need to wear Gucci now. I need to drive this certain car. Although you know very well that we don't live in our means, right? We don't live in our means. Company is making a turnover of 1.2 million rand. That's not your 1. How am I getting 1.2 million rand cost a light, or expect me not to have a car and Uber around to these meetings? Things that we need to start not actually only talking about, but education that comes after us, to say, dude, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? This thing, but it's a thing of the past. You don't have to live like that. I live like a student, and I'm solid amount of money, but I live like a student. You must see my apartment. Literally, it's a bed, skies, and stay in an apartment that is. But I understand business too, so that it becomes automated. I want to travel. I want to go to China and learn. There, I have my laptop and I'm still running my business, and I'm making this type of turnover. It seems like earning really, really. You must meet millionaires, and you need to be in those spaces where you meet real millionaires, really millionaires. You see how they live their lives, and a millionaire is not the type of person. You know, a small amount of money in your bank account, but you have the audacity, you know what I'm saying, or you have the audacity to say to go back to Kasi in the Christmas, you know. And it's both ways. It's social education is really not there for us. We don't have financial education. Talking about the accounting that we do in high school, like financial education hasn't been taught. The other thing is that we are really, really new to money. Money it's something that to the generation that is now, you know, and we have scars, black tax. You know, you still have to you still have to take money. Your brother or your sister coming along, you need to take them to school. And another thing is that you want everybody back home. Go see, I've made it. My business is doing well, and the only way to do that and to drive those certain cars. So people meet me in a taxi and like this guy's lying to a 200K in a taxi. You know, it doesn't make sense for 450 to get an Uber from here to Val and go from Uber to Val. But because I would say, yeah, no, I'm making money. I want people to know I'm making money. I've got cars at home, but it's besides the point. I want to take a taxi to save that extra 300 and take $50 to a taxi. I would be like, yo, no, I'm about this, you know, I'm making this much, you know, I would definitely, you know, take an Uber to when it's really unnecessary. Uber Eats, drinking out, all of these things. So understanding that your business is your business, that took me a long 9 years. To understand business is my business. Whatever that goes into my business is not money. It's not my money. Even with the business that I have now, which is Pusha Empire, I get a salary from. We could make 250K, which we did for Black Friday. I get 10. I still get my company. There's payment that comes to me, and it's 15. But to get there, how do we get there? I think the panel will answer that. To get there, mint is the question that I think we should come across and actually address.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. Lebgang uteng fao. Okay.
Yes.
My twins.
Yes, I'm here.
Le ready. Hey, wa bona. Wa bona lona ba le iphitlha. Wa bona gore le dlala ka nna man. Yeah. Yeah, Lebgang, you can go on. You can go on. A common mistake entrepreneurs make.
Common mistakes. I think Pusha has actually covered quite a lot, but I'll just add now in my space. I think it's patience, because it's you have to. If you rush into things, then you might not get the right source. Like in my space, it took me over 2 years to get the right plant for the water that we actually wanted to actually sell, you know, because also you need to invest in your business, and sometimes it takes time. But I think when it comes to money, it's discipline. You know, you just need to understand that you are doing this for the business. So sometimes as a director, you are working as an employee to the business. So it starts with you, you know, because you cannot get to a point where you are even able to hire people and pay them for a year or so if you yourself you are not able to just start by yourself, giving yourself a standard salary that you know it's going to be that standard salary, regardless of how much you are making, regardless of the sales you've made. But if you can be able to start with you to understand that this is a business and it's a company, like a company that you would work for and get a salary, once you can master that, I think you can be able to have the discipline of how to use the money. But I think what Pusha said, Khape, it's the fact that, you know, money is new to us, and it is, you know, I mean, business was not seen as something that, you know, black people would actually venture into, you know, especially back in the days. So it's, you know, having money that you've never had can actually be a big problem, especially if you don't have the hand to use the money and you don't have someone to account to. In my space, I do have, you know, someone that I rely on for my books that I need to report to say, look, this is how many bottles we've sold at, you know, this month, and therefore this is how much we've made. And I think it's not an easy thing, you know, especially when you are in a business like mine where you handle cash money, because in my space we sometimes go to events, even stadiums, where you handle cash, and once money is in your hand, you can actually do anything, you know, with that money. And sometimes I see myself selling water at a stadium. It's a rugby match, it's a full house, we are selling, we have people that are walking inside the tunnels and, you know, just inside where the fans sit, and we are selling. But I sometimes think, hey, you know, something to eat now, I need a hot dog, I want to eat. And I sometimes just go in there and buy, which is wrong, you know, which is not something that should happen. You need to be able to be that disciplined to understand that this is not your money. Your money will come at the end of the month, end of the week. I pay myself weekly, and it's just how it is, because I've set myself a standard to say, this is how much I need to sell. And if I haven't, you know, reached my targets, therefore, you know, I'm not going to be gaining anything from what I'm selling. So I think it's just a matter of really having patience, invest in time to get the right stuff to sell to people. Even if it's a service, invest in making sure that your service is of the right quality and you are able to distinguish between money that must go into the business and money that is just yours. But obviously with some of us, or maybe with other businesses, it becomes a hand-to-mouth situation where you rely on your business to buy bread, to make a living, you know. So you just need to be able to master the fact that there should be money that goes back to the business, regardless of how much you've sold. And yeah, just like Pusha said, I mean, you can make even R1 million, you know, and it just doesn't mean that your commission or your salary now must all of a sudden change. But it is at your own discretion, you know, to say, you are the boss here. You know, if you feel I've made so much and I deserve this Vorpa, then buy it, but your business will bleed out that, you know, that profit, which would have been another opportunity for you to get a truck, to get a van, to expand your business, and even get other people that you can actually assist by employing, or even by giving them an opportunity to also, you know, be entrepreneurs themselves, to go and sell for themselves. So I think the one major problem is hand to mouth. You know, you know, we're living in a country where unemployment it's sky high, you know, and I mean, you start a business to make a living, you know. So just try to understand the fact that have a standard salary or commission or percentage that you set for yourself and stick to that. And also what can help is to have someone to account to. Hire an accountant, get a bookkeeper, even if it's just a close partner, you know. And it's even better when you have a partner, because you both of you can at least, you know, try to have the other one accountable, to say, you took this much, where is this money going? What happened to that stock? You know, that type of thing. So it's a major problem, because once money comes, everything changes. Everything changes. Even sometimes even your customers sometimes all of a sudden might even change, you know, in how they support your business. But it is all up to you to make sure that your lifestyle is has just nothing to do with you know, with what you do. So I think that's basically it.
Thank you. My twins already. Hello, my twins. Oh Jesus. You
Hi.
coffee inwa.
No. So I think the question was the common mistakes, right? That
Yeah,
people
yeah.
make when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think that everything that we normally say when it comes to money, I think we're actually having a conversation now while we're on mute. Importance of getting an accountant. You know, we really take those things. You know, getting an accountant, people think that you must be a millionaire to be getting an accountant. No, like, you know, the minute your business starts generating revenue, if you can have a basic service, that will help you a lot, because, you know, you see a lot often running into trouble later on. You know, you have issues with SARS, overindulgence. You know, it's difficult to control yourself if the money is coming in. You know, unless you know, I've worked before, so I know how to earn a salary, how to manage a salary, how to pay myself, how to reward myself, how to save. But not everybody has a background or experience where you know how money to save your money, what it can do, what it can't do. So I think we often advise to any entrepreneur, to any young person in businesses that, you know, try and function. It's very important. You know, we take it for granted. You know, if life, you know, you want funding for assets, you want funding for this, or anything like that, you know, your lenders or potential lenders are going to ask you for your financials. You know the bank or what you do in your bank account. But you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you.
yes, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the first common mistake we make when it comes to finances. It's not formalized, not having an accountant, not having an advisor, because, you know, there is to work around, you know, legal tax avoidance. There is actually legal tax avoidance. You know, you don't necessarily need to run away from some ways of working around it so that it benefits you. You know, now we're talking about, you know, punitive policies, but SARS actually work with you. Then as much as I was an accountant when I used to work, I never really actually worked for you. You can have a normal relationship, let's say, where you pay your taxes, there are benefits to paying taxes. So yeah, and obviously that feeds into everything. That feeds into the kind of spending that people normally get themselves into trouble with. If you know that you are accountable to somebody like SARS, or accountable to somebody, then I think your mindset also to how you spend money. You know, we all want to enjoy. We all enjoy our money. I'm not saying where I need to spend on the things that I want to spend on. I spend. I love doing those things, but at least I know that, you know, there's somebody I have a chat My accountants often, they understand my lifestyle. Accountant can help you work around SARS. People think that accountants are there to say there's nothing like that. People have been enjoying themselves with their money. That would be my personal advice when it comes to spending money. Once you are professional, sort of way of running your finance, to enjoy your money without feeling bad, without any negative of SARS or whatever. So yeah, and I think also money and another thing that relates to money is growth. I think it's of entrepreneurship, as everybody here knows, there's obviously a stage of studies, a point where you grow, where you experience exponential growth, as I would put it. I think where we tend to make mistakes is growing too fast. It actually happens. I know tomorrow I want all the deals I want, 10 deals, 20 deals, whatever, but it's fast. And I think, you start to spend money obviously on what you think necessarily because you don't understand the business you're in, because it takes a long business to mature into a business. So I think, you always need to be cautious when it comes to money. You don't invest too quickly because, things happen in business. You can lose, you need backup, you need to be secure. So I think that also of money. And then I think when it comes to reckless spending, people know, we've seen examples in reckless. We don't need to look far. We know where we come from. People have spent it recklessly. So I think as it relates to that, the first thing that an entrepreneur should do is look at their surroundings. You'll find examples everywhere. How to find an example of a person. We all know a person that once had this. There's commonalities in how people actually fail in business. We all want nice cars. We all want nice clothes. We all want a good time. At the back of your head, when doing those things, you actually need to failure is possible. You can't cut 100% against failure, but look at your examples. I've seen a lot of them where people just simply mismanage money and they fail. It's not like they're stupid or they're not smart, but yeah, I think we need to look at the examples. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to impress people where you don't need to impress. At the end of the day, alone, you're not with anybody in the streets that you're trying to impress with your fancy. And trust me, I'm not saying that I don't like things. Nah, I like things personally. I like things. I like nice things. But just be careful when you're making your financial decisions. I like things, and entrepreneurs need to like things as well.
So you safe to say you are disciplined in how you use your money, Mr. Like of things.
Yeah, look, I'm not, like I said, I'm at the end of the day, I'm a person. I'm needs, I'm wants, I'm things that excite me. But like I said, I have controls in place. My biggest control is my accounting. I know for some people thinking about an accounting firm, you're thinking, you don't need to be a certain size. There's packages for every single business. If you want advice on your accounting, even I can advise you where to go and how to manage these things. There's packages. People think I need accountant. No, accounting can be cheap. They can be on as and when you know that you're accountable to some. I'm accountable to those people. Sometimes when they see my or whatever, they do give me a call. We chat about it. I explain to them a very good way of not mismanaging money, because I don't have. Tell me how to spend. or my partner can tell me how to spend, but I know that I'm accountable to my accountant. They notice my patterns, and I pay taxes. It's painful, like it's very painful. It's extremely painful on that one. I'm paying VAT next week, so it's at the back of my head even when I'm sitting in a weekend. But I think, yeah, just have controls in place, man. Have controls in place. That's the best you can do for yourself. I mean, if you look at most young entrepreneurs, what too big, it's not having controls in place. It's simple. With smart guys, we talk about smart guys here, were able to, they not do when they grew. They didn't have controls. If you have controls, they born. If because like I said, when you account, I'm gonna spend it. But if I know the age, I can only own one car or two cars. I can't buy 4, whatever. And then you actually, you get used to accountability and get used to answering to someone. So it's key. It's key. I would personally advise it. If anybody wants, I'm free. I'm willing to take you to the right people, connect you with the right people on the panel. I can recommend people you can see for that. After that.
Dankie. Litwin la go le le kae le missing in action.
Wow.
I think the guys have covered a lot of the key I was going to speak about, but for me is obviously as a business you have a vision and a strategy, right? A plan. In the 5 years, you know that you really cannot be taste than putting in. Putting in terms of your money, putting in terms of it's quite important that in that growth phase, money is actually used for business activities and not necessarily for necessities. And again, I think the biggest driver of why we struggle as young Black entrepreneurs is money management. The minute you strike that good deal, the first thing you're going to think about is, what car am I getting? What thinking about, am I able to expand my working space? Am I able in our technology solutions? Am I able to actually build a digital where learners can come in and actually just performance get access to our learner management system and stuff. So for us, important is making sure that you understand what your business trajectory is and what will the be on that, because it's always nice to actually draw from a smaller port. And again, I mean, KG, controls. Having controls is very important. You're a human being, right? Because once in a while you make money, you're gonna say no. I mean, I came up with this deal. I'm the one that, but I need to reward myself with this car and that. But if you have control, this is why are we spending that much on that particular asset? You have somebody that you can account to as much as it's money. Your business is making the money, but it's always very important to have somebody that's out there to make you accountable. And guys, I mean, it's all about maturity. You've got to be mature and disciplined. When you see the money sitting in the bank account, let me tell you excited. Yes, you'll reward yourself. We like nice things. Once in a while, you go in, ask a couple of things, but then you don't use what is needed to grow the business. A personal need. It doesn't work like that. And you must have the discipline. The issue, we can play with words. We live in a constitutional democracy. We can say whatever that we want. The action. When the money is here, are we able to actually replicating? So it's quite important that we you are disciplined, everything must be aligned with business, and just don't get excited because you don't want money on things that don't have an element of sustainability. You spend money in an aspect of sustainability in that. So that's my view.
Thank you. Musa, are you ready? Uh, okay.
Hello?
Yes, can you
We
can you
hear.
can you can you hear us? Yeah.
Hey,
Musa.
yeah. Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hello? I disappeared for a
Yes.
second. I'm back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk from personal experience, right? I'm gonna talk about mistakes that I did, just to contextualize a bit
Matwin,
better. So
Matwin,
one of the mistakes that I did. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag. Can you hear me?
no, we can hear you. You can hear you. Can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Cool. So one of the mistakes that I did was not investing enough in myself, right? So I'd buy, so with the previous company, I'd buy like the latest gear, whether it's a lens or, production gear, but I didn't invest enough in myself in terms of knowledge, in terms of, building systems. And I mean, it even speaks to an earlier question Takato mentioned, how do you intend on having the business run and, progress beyond you, whether you're removed from the business or you say for instance die. We see in a lot of instances in the township economy really popular and successful business die because the original owners or directors have passed on, and then the following generation didn't have systems. They weren't documented methods or a methodology in terms of financing, in terms of running a sustainable business. But I guess that goes into the general idea within the African system, whereas we have a huge lack in the succession or whoever successorship or however that's pronounced or mentioned, where leaders who are old and there's no way of nurturing, the following, the next generation of leaders. That's an issue in business. That's an issue, it's a social cultural issue, and I think that's the problem that I had, because right now I feel like I've really, and it's taken years of failure to get here, right? But I feel like I've transitioned from hustling to running a business, right? And then with hustling, there's a different dynamic with how you handle yourself, how you handle your finances, right? There's limited accountability. Now, with co-directors, with associates, founders, whatever, there's more accountability. So going back to just what we need to do personally is invest in ourselves. The second mistake that I did was not thinking big enough. Okay, and what that means is that we could be so preoccupied with building a service or building a product, but what we need to sort of reprogram, reconfigure our thinking is that we need to, right? And if you look at how the American corporate structure, drop shipping idea, and thing that Pusha was talking about as well, is based on platforms. How do humans capacity to leverage on platforms? So again, if all moving in that direction to focus on building platforms that empower ourselves, platforms that empower people, then we are moving in the the right direction. So for now, again, using an immediate example with Veza Interactive, we've shifted our mindset from being, good developers. And again, if you look at statistics, Africa, Tabo mentioned it earlier, we have the best accountants now. We raise the best developers. So now we must use that thinking to build, the next cutting edge industrialists, right? We look ourselves as industrialists over being developers. So that's the mindset that I think a lot of people should look at, right? Invest in yourself and think bigger. The world COVID has opened up so many opportunities, right? And if you think about it, I think the Chinese language for crisis has two sort of meanings or annotations, right? It's danger and opportunity. So with what COVID did, it actually opened an opportunity for us to, provide particular services. As the world is going digital, the world is going virtual, the world is going metaverse. We've positioned ourselves nicely, to take a crisis, turn it into an opportunity to, run a sustainable business. I think, that's the two primary things I'd say. Invest in yourself and think bigger.
All right. So guys, we are already into the session. I don't want to take too much of your time because and I still have questions, but I feel like we can continue the conversation again when we have the in-person thing. But I want to ask two more questions, and then we is that good with you guys? Langu Dana. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Yes,
I can hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All good.
Okay. What key area would you guys recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in?
I'll start. For me, is
Yeah.
knowledge acquisition. You must be obsessed with that, right? So knowledge acquisition, I don't mean go read a textbook. No, just read about literally everything, because you're teaching the brain how to process information and produce and learn as much as you can. Don't think you know everything. You can have all these degrees, different universities. We have multiple degrees in mathematics. It doesn't matter. What I say here is try and acquire as much knowledge as possible. And number two, business journey is that business is not really about what you said, relationships that you're building. Without the relationships, you cannot actually have a platform where you can actually sell the product. Network, spend as much time as possible in seminars, meet with people, have a chat without expectation, because we've got this tendency that when I have a chat with somebody, you can do me a favor. No. Just have a chat to just learn how somebody did, how did they travel this entrepreneurship journey, which is quite as many people as possible. Network, that is how you can actually grow in my view.
Thank you.
Can I add
Literally,
on there?
guys.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, so Musa on.
Yeah, Musa can
Literally, not how is
continue. Yeah, Musa can continue. So that's what I'm saying. Musa can continue with the question.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Tabo in terms of knowledge acquisition, because we are living currently in the greatest wealth transfer in human history. Okay, like this is an opportunity that's probably going to only appear again in the next decade or two, right? And it's not just wealth in a sense of monetary value in money or bitcoins, whatever, but of knowledge, information. So all we need to do is use these platforms to absorb information, absorb knowledge, relearn and unlearn. That's the only way, I think, or the one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs should spend their time on as a key activity. Learn, consume information, because why not, enhance your service by learning from other people's mistakes? Or, I mean, right now, I think maybe that's a key problem. There's too much information, right? So maybe people can learn how to filter out the right information that you can use to then capacitate yourself and your business. So yeah, I totally agree with Thabo.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I lost connection. Joyce. Am I technology? Muso, Muso, are you still talking?
Oh no, sorry, I was done. Can you get it? I agree with Thabo. That was my last remark.
Oh, okay. And then Lebogang?
I think Muso said it all. I mean, it's the most important thing is to learn, and and network. Such platforms, watch such channels, subscribe, hit the notification button. But I just think the most important thing, obviously, would be to use your networks as well, because it's one thing to know that you know the best system developer. There's no engagement thereafter. There's no building on what we have actually got to actually be a part of. So I think learning is the most important thing. Align yourself also, because you need to be selective to what you learn. Align yourself to where you want to go, and align yourself to what you are busy with, because information is a lot, as Muso said. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels that you can learn from. There's a lot of books that you can read. But are you aligned? Are you aligned with the times that we're living right now? Are you even aligned to the space that you are actually working on or working from, or the space that you belong in? In my space, it's water. I'm big in, understanding what the UN is doing, what UNICEF is doing. I want to get into that space. So it's key that I find time and I spend that time into understanding where I want to go. And I think also the last thing would be, as you are learning, get the right people to actually answer the questions that you might have in a specific industry, because there are people that have done what you've done, and you can always learn from those people. So as I'm saying, I'm looking at what the United Nations is doing about the issue that we are all facing, about the water crisis that we are having, and having schools that are not having proper water and sanitation. So I'm in that space. I'm learning and aligning myself to get someone in there that would actually tell me what is it that they are doing. So I think the key activities would be that learn. As Muso said, just learn. Learn, but be selective in the information that you are absorbing and the information that you are getting out there. Just make sure that you also question the information, you filter some of the stuff, so that they actually get to work for you and your business.
Okay, so we are about to close the review for 2 hours. Ne? So I saw an interesting question. I wanted to it speaks on what for Black entrepreneurs in South Africa. What do you think? What are your views on that?
Legacy.
Repeat that.
Lankut. Yes.
Yes.
What is the legacy for Black entrepreneurs? Yes, in South Africa.
Well, that's a difficult one. I think there's mainly two things. I think job creation. I think is to develop a mindset of being passionate about job creation. My passions. I don't think anybody's gonna really gonna get to that point to understand that. But I think we need to develop a culture about creating jobs. As much as entrepreneurship. I think it was last year or whatever. That I'm definitely in it for the money. Then obviously the secondary stuff. Are stuff like job creation. So I think by creating a single job, you have already one or two households. So I think that definitely needs to be our legacy job. I think number two as well will be developing. I think, we take it for granted what your advice as an entrepreneur, upcoming person. Also goes back to my point of saying, we are in an environment where we, as Black people, still think that so exclusive. You even see the way people treat you, that you're like it's like you are this messiah to start a business, and for some of us, it's like damn special. I don't understand why you think that I did something in that man. That's why even people will tell I hate those things. I'm just a normal guy.
Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome.
Why? It actually makes me angry sometimes where people treat you special or whatever. Like, hey, can I get you this? When I get me a chair? I wouldn't get you a chair. Why would you want to get me a chair? Get somebody a chair. I'm just trying to say. So I think yeah. So sometimes it's just weird, to be honest. Where a certain mentality, and mostly you see it in Black people. We would say you mustn't be proud of people, or you mustn't praise people. Then there are people that I look up to. I'm not at a point where I will treat somebody differently based on the amount, based on your values. Values are very important to me. So, jobs, we need to create enough jobs so that we get rid of unemployment. Hopefully, passing the baton on to these smaller businesses. Surprised that actually boosting a small business, what it means to them. Then I did not know where I actually worked with people that I grew up with, from somebody, buying oil from somebody. It doesn't need to be big, but that see of let's work together. Let's show people that it's actually possible to get in business. That's our legacy. We don't get enough of that. We must stop this thing of, as Black people, exclusively available. This guy he drives this. He's exclusive because he runs this. Nobody's exclusive. Hence, I'm saying. I mean, I find it impossible when I see people being scared of somebody because it's got. Why would I be scared of somebody because he's got money? No, sometimes it sounds arrogant, but why would a businessman because he has money? No, I can approach you. I'm gonna respect you. As that's the kind of environment we need to create. There's no exclusivity. There's no top businessman. I want to all businessmen and business, whether it's at the corner. You know, we all need to be on the same page. I think that's our legacy. You know, imposter syndrome. Get rid of. You know, everybody asking me this. I don't expect these people to talk to me. No, nah, I'm not even about what. I actually despise those kind of things. You know. So yeah, we need to go inspire the young kids, create the jobs. I think that's our legacy. You know, want to be remembered for the car you drive. Want to be remembered for your clothes. You know, as much as like I said, I won't hide what I like doing. I like those kind of things, but I don't want to. At the end of the day, it boils down to nothing for me. You know, my legacy personally is passionate about that. I love it. I love it when I see somebody being able to earn, think like that when creating a job. You know, you need jobs. I think that also matters. You know, we don't want to create a job where I live a comfortable life. That my lowest employee can't even live in a comfortable place. We need to create quality jobs. We need to pay people right. That's our legacy. We need to stop. You only deserve 10 rand. If I'm gonna sleep in a nice place, yeah, you know, that's our legacy. We need to create quality jobs, build really an environment that is, you know, to say, like KG or I live well. I live well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we need to get to because we change our it needs to be different. You need to be different business people. You know, you need to be classy, be different. Leave a nice legacy.
Yeah.
Time, but things like just to be proper employees. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think for our jobs, you know, passing the baton on, treating people well. Yeah.
Well said.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
That's a closing remark and a half.
Well said there from Mike.
Yeah.
I'll actually bring it back to what we do as a business. I mean, we impart knowledge. You can't go to ShopRite and buy. You get my point? You can't go to the mathematics mark, which is what we give to our learners. So imparting knowledge and making sure that we are able to actually, you know, produce more critical thinkers. Before I used to use engineers and thinkers. So mathematics helps you with critical and logical thinking. If we can, you know, impart the knowledge to as many learners as possible, for us that is a legacy. We have people that are critical thinkers and are able to take this country forward. That is you know the whole ethos of our business, making sure that we impart as much knowledge and we impact as many learners as possible. That is basically our legacy as well, really mathematics.
Thank you. Yes. Who's it? Muso.
Yeah, thank you again for a dope discussion.
So can you hear me?
I mean, yeah, just closing off from KG's comments. Building jobs and inspiring young kids, right? That should be our legacy, right? Because we are not going to be here forever. We're not going to be doing this forever. So the next generation but in order for us to leave that legacy, I think there's a critical shift that must happen. Sorry, guys. Am I still on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. So I was saying, in order to be able to lead, there has to be a shift that we need to do, and it's a shift of, you know, moving away from change to transformation, because change is kind of simple, right? It's kind of like a tadpole moving to a frog. There's slight alters, but transformation is a caterpillar going into a butterfly, right? It gets, plunged in a soup of enzymes, and there's mutated what's, new eyes, and like you are transforming. So we need to transform as well, right, as businesses, because even our customers has become smarter. Our customers are more educated. They're exposed to international brands. They have access to international companies and whatever. So it goes beyond being black as well. It your values, your morals, your company must be based on merit. It has to be based on something solid, something with a strong foundation, and that's how we can achieve that level where we can get to an aspirational level as someone younger looks at us like, oh, this is possible. Let me do it, right? And I think that's where we need to be. So those are my closing remarks, and thanks again for the beautiful conversation with Black phenomenal entrepreneurs.
Yes. Lebogang.
Wow, that was fantastic, man. Hey, legacy.
Yeah.
Legacy. I think, just in short, that would basically be us overcoming, great obstacles and great challenges, and obviously creating something from nothing. I think also it's going to be a thing of it's a change, it's a shift, like Muso said, because there's been a thing of working for the white man, but I think we are slowly getting to a point where Black entrepreneurs are now going to get to a point where they will be providing and offering proper quality job opportunities, So I think that is basically the legacy where Black entrepreneurs will basically live and see another generation coming in to do things even better. So I think it's just overcoming all the obstacles that we had to overcome. It's not an easy thing to say you'll start a business, and I think I just salute everyone in this platform. You guys are doing great, and I think Mo, thank you so much for the platform. It's so nice to actually get to a table like this one, even if it's virtually, to actually get to engage and share ideas and share just experiences that we get to actually get to deal with. So I think this is the generation that will leave that legacy, of first overcoming all the challenges and get to a point where we provide even better conducive ways of working and better work opportunities and job opportunities for people. So I think that's basically what I think would be the legacy.
And sorry for coming in there. I don't think we thank you enough. Also, we are sharing our views to educate the audience out there. I don't think we thank you because this platform has actually birthed some changing partnerships. I mean, we met in this. I grew up with Muso, understanding what he does. I got to understand that in this platform, and now we have some interesting tech solutions, and also with Lebo as well. We're going to be partnering next year on some of the programs we're going to be working on. So this us, sharing our views on what we think what business. It's also the fact that we're able to cross sell among each other within.
Yeah, very, very dope.
Yeah, so guys, thank you guys for honoring my invite. You always bringing the gems when we invite you to the platform. I'm hoping to you guys next year when we just have an in-person session on my podcast. I have drinks and then we just are more chilled. And I hope the conversation will be more of a more solutions. So I thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for taking as a Black entrepreneur. And yeah, this was Tabi ke le phone ka sokola hle lona ka sokola ke batla yeah.
Always happy to
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.